So you have the NFL, and Major League Baseball. They're definitely trying to get their seasons up and running. Major League Baseball is doing a reduced season. And the NFL, they just had agreed to today not to do preseason games because of, we dealing with everything with COVID-19. Well, Russell Wilson, his wife Sierra is pregnant right now. And there are many players in the NFL right now that has tested positive for coronavirus, including people like Von Miller, Ezekiel Elliott, just to name two people, right? So Russell Wilson, he don't want to miss the birth of his child. So we know that if you've been exposed or been around people who, tested positive for coronavirus, they want you to quarantine 14 days. Well, what Russell Wilson is saying is, look, I don't want to miss the birth of my child because y'all have me exposed to people, that's out here with the coronavirus, and you have no way to stop it. So why is it that I should miss the birth of my child? And he's right, because listen, you don't want to miss the birth of your child. I've, never missed any birth of my children. And it's a beautiful thing to hold your child in your arms when they first come out, or when they wheel them to the, thing, and they doing all they, clean them, vital signs, all things that they're doing with the kids. I love that. You know what I'm saying? Just being with the kids. Oh man, it's a joyous time. So you don't want to miss that because of work, because basically it's work, right? So Russell Wilson and really the NFL Players Association, I think the union should have been like, hell no, we're not having no NFL season, because how you going to expect us to go out there and work? And you can't have NFL players wearing masks. I don't care what you say. They can't wear masks like that. It's going to be very difficult for them to do so if they do it. I played football, so I know, especially in certain positions more than others, wearing a mask will be difficult. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's all hot right now. What would they play where you can wear a mask? Even if you played in a dome, right? Enclosed environment, AC, you still gonna get hot to the point that you can't breathe too well in there. Now, normal walking around, yes, you can wear a mask, no problem. But you actually doing a lot of extreme physical exertion, what you do with the NFL, right? So I understand Russell Wilson on this. I think the NFL personally should cancel the season until they figure out, what they're going to do. Because you look at cases like Florida, where they're having 10,000 plus coronavirus cases a day. You having, certain places here in Texas, where I'm at, it's not good. Like definitely in the Rio Grande Valley or, San Antonio or wherever the people are coming from. Because these guys live everywhere. These guys don't just live in the city their team is in. And they're bringing, their infections there. And they don't even know a lot of times they're infected with the coronavirus. So Russell Wilson do have a legitimate argument. He do. In the midst of a pandemic. Because it'd been me, I would tell my team, listen, I'll come to work after my child is born. I'm not about to expose my child. Now, look, y'all want to dock my pay? Dock my pay. Go ahead. But I'd rather be with my wife and not miss the birth of my child than be at work in the NFL. Well, we're going to bench you. Well, go ahead and do what you got to do. You get what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit up here and just miss the birth of my child. Because Russell Wilson, he'll be playing with a hot minute anyway. So if hopefully he took care of his money, then he would be all right, I guess. But in life, you got to make a decision. Your money or your family. And at times, family always, and the reason why I say it at times is because there's some things with family and money. You got to do something with the money to make sure the family is good. That's why I said that. But then there are times that decision don't even come up, because being there for your child is something you can never get back. There's no amount of money that can replace that. And he was saying that Sierra would be devastated if he isn't there. She's by herself in there. And I agree with that 100%. No woman should be alone having a child. That's just how I feel about that. But leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about the situation. If using Russell Wilson's position, would you sit out until after your wife had the baby, or you would just take your risk and go with it? Let me know.